So let me clean up this 3D printer mess here in the garage, because I need all this space here for this video. We also need this battery there, the Gobelpower battery, which is unfortunately at the bottom of this tower. So let's be prepared for some crane action as well. So, and the reason why I need the Gobelpower battery today is because I want to do an update on this battery, a hardware upgrade. So, but before that we need to take everything apart here, and then, so you know, Gobelpower has these 3 battery types to choose from: a basic, a standard, and the premium. And they're all the same batteries basically. All the same hardware, but the battery cells have a different consistency. When Gobelpower built these batteries, they are not only matching voltage and internal resistance and capacity and stuff like most of the other manufacturers do. No, they also have a look at the charge and discharge curve of each individual cell. And then they match and group these cells together and put them in one of these battery cases. And you can imagine, if the battery cells have the same charge and discharge curves, or almost the same, and you put these cells into one battery bank, they charge and discharge very uniform, very consistent. So on the battery cells which are more consistent, they make it into the premium battery boxes. And the ones which are charging and discharging not so consistent are coming into the basic battery box. This is how they distinguish the basic, standard and premium batteries. And now they are even going a step further. Yeah, all of their standard and premium battery packs, they have the 4 amp active Bluetooth balancer already built in. So you cannot choose the active balancer I have in this battery anymore. They're already coming with the Heltec or the knee active balancer. Okay, so I have now completely isolated the Gobelpower battery here. These are still connected, but the breakers are off and the BMSs are turned off, so I'll just leave them physically connected. We need to take this one out because we need to take off the lid. So I need to pull this whole cart forward now, and then it's time for some crane action. Oh, and by the way, my friends, welcome back to the off-grid garage in super sunny and hot Australia. So we had a bit of a shower situation yesterday. Finally some rain here in sunny hot Australia. It helps with all the bushfires around, hopefully. We had something like 8 millimeters of rain yesterday afternoon and some light showers during the night. And we are having 108 amps outside, but I'm also charging the vehicle at the moment with 2.4 kilowatts. We've got the Ant miner running, mining some bitcoins, and the pool pump is running as well, plus everything else here inside the off-grid garage. Still 100 amps in the battery. Man, I definitely need to upgrade these casters underneath here. They are far too small for such a tower. I need these larger red ones here. They are amazing. But I guess this is something for another day. So I have now opened the Gobelpower battery here. I have disconnected the positive to the BMS. So BMS is disabled. I've also pulled all the balance cables, so there's no connection from any of the cells back to the BMS. And I have also taken out the bus bar here between cell number 8 and 9. So this basically splits the battery in half now, and this is just for safety purposes if I make a short or something here, just to ensure the whole battery is completely disconnected. Because I think we have to take out the whole BMS plate here, and the active balancer sits right behind there. What you can also see is, there's the yellow light running on the balancer. That means the balancer is still active and balancing our cells. And this is exactly what causes the issues then later down the track when you fully charge the battery again. We have seen this many times here on the channel. I've done so many tests about the active balancer being connected all the time. In the Müller 12 volt battery, for example, we had the same issue. Balancer runs all the time I cannot charge over 13 volts. Here with this battery, just lately, fully charging it, 54 volts, first cell reaches 3.65. And this is because the balancer is always balancing. It's not good. And this is exactly what we want to rectify today. And for this to happen, we can use two methods. We can either replace the active balancer with the Heltec 4 amp active balancer. This is pretty much exactly 100% the same as the knee balancer. Yeah, and then we've got Bluetooth access and can set a start and stop voltage for the active balancer. And we should only balance these batteries at 3.45 volts or above. Second alternative would be to use the A30 voltage trigger controller. It's a voltage detection controller, exactly. This is the same device we have installed in the QSO battery already, where we have one of these active balancers running. And we could see the imbalance it causes as well in the QSO battery. So we installed the voltage detection relay and everything was perfect. You can set two voltages, one to turn on the relay and one to turn it off again. And this then controls your active balancer in your battery. This voltage detection relay in combination with the 5 amp active balancer is doing pretty much the same as the knee active balancer as well. I have a separate video how to connect this one here to the active balancer. I'll link this down below as well. And if you already have one of these active balancers, I would probably not recommend buying a knee active balancer then, because this thing is only $11 or $12 here, including shipping from Ali, and it works pretty much the same. Okay, you don't have Bluetooth access obviously then, but hey, once this thing is set and programmed, it works exactly the same. So I've now disconnected the main positive and negative here from the battery, disconnected the active balancer as well, unscrewed the front panel. But from what I can see, there are screws down here. There's one and there's a third one, which are holding down this whole plate where the BMS is mounted to. And on the back side is the active balancer. Because I definitely want to take this one out, because I've got other plans with that. And I thought, come on, and I thought I can sneak the knee active balancer behind here as well. Just like this, and then connect the balance cables up here. We have 4 mounting points here at the back for this BMS. And we can reuse them by printing a little bracket which connects back to these 4 standoffs and then mounts the knee active balancer exactly in the same position as the active balancer is right now. Video is coming soon. It's amazing. Come on. The whole Pace BMS is coming out. Cable ties. There we go. We are finally free. Yeah, it's a Heltec balancer as well. Ooh, I like these extension cables they have used here. That is pretty cool. So now the main idea is to mount the knee active balancer. Well, I always say knee, but it's actually a Heltec one here. But yeah, it's the same. Mount this here in this location as well, just like this, you know. And then we can connect the balance cables from the top here. Okay, so here's a quick design I have made this morning here to hold the knee in place in the same location as the active balancer here. It is not finalized yet, but as you can see, it is just a frame holding the knee down, and the knee clips under these hooks here on all 4 corners. And then we can screw the whole frame through these holes exactly in the same position as the active balancer is right now, just behind this metal plate. I know this is maybe a bit over the top, but I need to practice this here as well, making such adapters, brackets and mounts. And I think this is a fairly easy one. So I'll just confirm the measurement here and then we get this one printed and see if it fits. Well, that'll be my first design then ever. And we can also develop an adapter plate here at the front where the BMS sits, and can potentially replace the Pace BMS with the JK BMS. If this is ever going to work. Well, in this case we wouldn't need an active balancer at all because the JK has one built in. it doesn't fit. So if we use the existing standoffs of the metal plate here, it won't work. There's not enough space to put another bracket or something. So I need to mount the knee away from these stands here on this side, like this. And then I've just measured the cables coming with the knee. They are just long enough to reach the furthest cell over there. Okay, so I have to change my 3D design and mount the knee somewhere over here. Of course I could just use Velcro, you know, but then we can see the lights. Now we can't because the BMS is in front of it. There will be no lights, my friends. But this is where it needs to go, otherwise the cables are not long enough. So I'm going to remove the old balance cables as well from the active balancer. And then we install the new cables, which I have already crimped. Guys, we want to keep it clean here, right? So the old cable goes, the new one goes in, looks good. The big question is, will the knee fit? Oh yeah, oh yeah. It fits. That is insane. It fits. That is so cool. I've only forgotten to countersink these holes here now for my screws. That should have been in the design, but yeah, I forgot about it. Oh yeah! We are tapping M3. Okay, let me quickly assemble this all again and then we have a look how the balancer works. Hey, before I assemble everything again, I should measure the voltage, right? I hope everything is correctly put together. Otherwise I have to take off this spiral wrap again here. Spiral wrap. The spiral wrap. All right, my friends, everything has been put together again. Everything is connected, installed. A small but important update. You can also see the lights there. A red and a blue one. Red means alarm because we haven't connected to the BMS yet. And maybe there are some settings wrong, you know. Probably the cell count, because this is the 24S active balancer. So first thing we want to do is rename the active balancer, and I call this one Gobelpower SR1 PC200. That's the name of the battery, because I have quite a few of these knee active balancers now, and you never know which device they are in. So now I can just click on the battery, and here we are, 1 millivolt deviation. Wow, this one works great. Okay, so turn on the equalization, go to settings. Yeah, that's the quantity. Needs to be on 16, obviously. Setting 5 millivolt delta, that is fine. 4 amps, yep. Stop voltage, I'll set my one to 3.4 volts. Now I get an error message because the run voltage is smaller than the stop voltage. 3.45. Setting 3.4. I don't know whether the balancer needs to know the ampere hours of the battery. Battery type, LFP. Is it changing all the settings again? No, it's not. Okay. And you can turn off the buzzer as well. And these are pretty much all the settings you can set in the knee active balancer. Everything is normal. No alarms, nothing. Here under settings, I'm using the latest version. Change the name. I don't want to change the password, which is 123456. And if we go into status, it has changed the settings again. Jeez. And this one is 3.4. So balancer is on 0. Battery low voltage because we have a deviation here of lower than 5 millivolt, what we have set in the balancer here. And of course we are also under 3.45 volts. So the equalizer has stopped. Perfect. There was a small but very important update to this battery. To any battery. Oh, we haven't checked the BMS yet. Comes back to life. What? I've got an alarm. Alarm, is it down? It doesn't say. It's just an alarm, not a protection. State of charge is low. Well, this is actually not true. The battery should be at around 95% or something, but because we have disconnected the BMS, it doesn't know what the state of charge actually is. We go into system configuration and we read the capacities. 280, remaining capacity should be 289,000, right. And this clears the alarm. All right, I've now connected the power supply and we are charging the battery with 21 amps now. So battery voltage is at 53.6 volts. Shouldn't take long. All right, we are now coming close to 3.45 volts with our cell number 16. And we have a deviation of 42 millivolt. I've set the power supply to 55.2 volts. And you can see the balancer is now starting, or has started. Even the balancer and the BMS has now turned on. And they are both working together now to get this pack under control here. So none of the cells should actually see 3.65 volts. And we can already see here now that we can actually charge higher, to a higher voltage than we could before with the other balancer connected all the time. Still having 55 millivolt deviation. So charging current is now under 4 amps. That means our balance current of the active balancer is higher than what we charge into the whole battery. And only when this happens, you should actually start balancing. Because before that, if you still charge your batteries with 10 amps, but discharge them at the same time with 4 amps, there is still a net charge current of 6 amps going into the battery. So balancing doesn't really make sense. But usually once we hit 55.2 volts, the current is tapering off fairly quickly, as you can see. We're under 3 amps now. So voltage difference is now coming down, 53, 52 I've seen. The balancer gets this under control fairly quickly. Okay, let's charge a bit higher to 56.8 volts. This is now 3.55 volts. And we should set our balance start voltage to 3.55 here as well. And the same here, 3.55. So what do we have? 100 millivolt deviation now. But none of the cells goes over 3.65 volts. Okay, let's go a bit higher to 57.6. Ooh, we can see cell number 16 and cell number 11 are over 3.6 volts now. Let's see if we get an over voltage protection. We've got several alarms now. Still charging with 5 amps. But this should make it very easy now for the knee active balancer to balance this pack here at 3.6 volts. And we can already see how the deviation comes down from 118 to 114 now, 110 in the BMS. Okay, let's leave this running here and balancing for half an hour and then we have another look. So, and we are back after 27 minutes and we are down to a 13 millivolt deviation. Look at this shit, huh? The knee has done it again. Alright guys, it is close to sunset now. Let me calibrate an ice cold spat. Thank you very much for your generous donations. Let me show you. The good old spat fridge here. So, 2 different sorts of kombucha. We have Heineken beer here from Amsterdam. We've got the good Carlsberg here from Denmark. We've got the 4X here from Queensland. And we also have Peroni Nastro Azzurro from Italiana. There's no Oettinger at the moment. It was not special. I'm not buying it anymore. It's $62 per carton of Oettinger. So yeah, I think I'm calibrating one of these. So guys, I guess this concludes the upgrade, the small but important upgrade for the Gobelpower battery here. Of course, we could have used the A30 voltage trigger, what is it called? Voltage detection controller, and keep the active balancer as it was in this battery here. It would have a far easier installation then. But the reason I wanted to replace the active balancer with this active balancer is this is actually how the battery is now going to be delivered. You know, Gobelpower has these 3 options. Basic, standard and premium. This is the standard battery here. And it used to come with this active balancer as per default. And for additional $60 you could upgrade to the knee active balancer. But from now on, all standard and premium batteries from Gobelpower are coming with the knee active balancer as per default. So this is now the only option for these 2 batteries. And this is why I wanted to show you how this battery then looks like with the knee active balancer included and how the battery performs when you fully charge it. This balancer is actually able to keep these cells under control here. And because we can program it as per our needs now, there's no imbalance in this battery pack anymore. And you can always charge it to 58 volts if you want to. So when you go to the Gobelpower website and have a look at the standard battery, which this one is here, you can now also see that you can choose your battery you are going to order as per test results. Down here, you can actually select the serial number of your battery. You know exactly what capacity you will get, what the maximum charge voltage is for this battery without a balancer, and what the minimum discharge voltage is before one of the cells hits 2.5 volts. So they make this now fully transparent what you actually buy. And isn't that the exact thing we always wanted from a manufacturer, from a reseller? Transparency. We want to know what we get. What is this battery capable of? What is the quality? What is the consistency? And as far as I know, Gobelpower is the only one on the market at the moment who does that, who gives you the full transparency. Tells you everything. You can select and choose whatever battery you want, and you will get exactly this battery. And on top of that, you will get 16% of this battery, of the standard battery, for the month of November 23. I don't know how they do it. They said something about the 11/11 sales and want to be ready and early in for the Black Friday sale end of November. So for the whole month of November 23 now, you will get 16% off the standard battery from Gobelpower. And you know, we have tested this battery here in all details, and it is the best battery on the market you can buy right now, I would say. And with this new feature that you can actually select the exact battery you are going to get, plus a 16% off. And as a third bonus, as I told you before, this standard edition battery comes with the knee active balancer by default. It is already included in the price. So you don't need to do all this work I have shown here in this video to upgrade your battery from an active balancer to the knee active balancer or the Heltec. You never know if it's a knee, if it's a Heltec, or if it's the Energy. They are all the same products. And I think Energy is the actual manufacturer and Heltec and knee are rebranding. But who knows? So my friends, I link all these videos I mentioned here down below in the video description, so please have a look there. Why you should not leave your active balancer, why you should not leave this active balancer turned on all the time. We had these issues since the battery 1.0, which was in this plastic tub there. And when I installed the active balancer for the very first time, we discovered there's something not quite working. And then every time I'm getting a battery where such a balancer is built in, we're seeing the same issue again and again and again. Alright guys, so far this upgrade video from today. I will put this all back together now, piggyback these batteries on top of it again and wheel this all back into the gap there, then I can reconnect it, charge it from the temporary pull fence system. And until the next video guys, you stay safe and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye. 60% off. Amazing.